how to play college soccer at Tufts University. So we have multiple students at Tufts, and I played against many students at Tufts. In fact, one player I played with at Tufts played pro soccer with me. Tufts is a D1 program. Let me say that again. Tufts is a Division I program. Almost, I would say 99% of the kids on that team were recruited by a Division I school in a very real and aggressive way. And they said to themselves, well, maybe I want to play every minute instead, or I want to get a great education, or I like the coach, or I like the playing style, or I just like the school of Tufts more than the D1 school that's recruiting me. We had a Boys Elite Academy kid, shout out Will Nicholas, and he was being recruited by Division I schools, by some pretty big mid-major Division I schools. But Tufts was also recruiting him. Now Tufts he was committed in July of his junior year going into his senior year, and Tufts basically gave him an ultimatum going, look, we're one of the best D3 schools. If you want to keep looking for D1s, you can have that life. But if you want to play for us, we have to know in the next 2 weeks. That's an uncomfortable place to be in, but it's also a compliment to you because it means they really want you. Now, you never want to be rushed into a decision. So this is one of the reasons why I want 2028s and 2027s to start the process, because with 28s and 27s, you guys can have time to get to know the coaches. So when they give you that deadline ultimatum, you're like, okay, yes, I'm ready to go. I've explored all my other options. If you start later and you get an offer, which is awesome, you're like, but I don't really know if I want that offer. Now you might lose it, and there's no guarantee you'll get another one. So we're starting earlier, not just because it's easy to get recruited, but it's for you. It's so that way you don't have to be rushed into a decision. So anyways, the school talks to him and says, we really like you as a player. I've seen this kid's video actually on my YouTube page. He has like the most views of every kid I've ever posted because his highlight video was very good. But, you know, the student was also looking at some other schools, and we were really aggressive with follow-up with Tufts. Even though they really liked him, it wasn't like they didn't sometimes not respond. And that's actually when we went to the D1s and further got their interest, because we really wanted Tufts, but the Tufts wasn't responding for a tiny bit. Not ghosting or anything, they're just busy, and when not responding, you know, could be 24 hours, could be 3 days. But sometimes as parents, we're like, does that mean they don't like us anymore? We get kind of insecure, and my job is to tell you, like, just relax. This is part of the process. Also, everybody wants what everyone else has. So one of the things you can do is, if you have interest from a top D3, you can tell that to a top D1 or a mid-tier D1 or a low-tier D1, and then if they respond like, oh yeah, I've got to see your video, thank you for sharing that, what's your situation, you can go back to the D3 and go, hey, some Division I schools have shown interest, I'm interested in those schools, but I'm more interested in you, can I ask where I stand in your process? That's where you can move the needle, because remember, they're doing the same thing, they're flirting with a bunch of other players. If you want more help playing college soccer, the 3 takeaways are: start 28-27 as a 28-27, make every touch videos, contact D1 schools in order to get to D3 schools, and remember that Tufts is a D1 program. Do not think of it as a D3. If you want more help, give me a call. Links in the bio. Bye.